Hey, what's up, everybody? This is another episode of Sports Ruben Live. This is an interesting episode. I want to dig into this idea that Ed Orgeron of the LSU Tigers, college football head coach, is a compelling story there, and I don't think that it got enough love this weekend of what he was able to accomplish, right? But first, like, subscribe, comment. I really enjoy the comments. Let me know what you think about the comments. Thumbs up, all that good stuff. Tell me what you guys think of the story, of how I did the video, of what do you think. Just, I want your opinion. That's much appreciated, right? And thank you for watching all that, all that great stuff, right? So anyway, let's get into it, right? So Ed Orgeron, the reason why this is an interesting, compelling story is the fact that this guy has been all over the place, right? This guy was a perennial, defensive line coach, linebacker coach, head coach, not head coach. He's like bouncing all over the place, right? Since 1984, he's kind of done his rounds with the major programs, right? So he comes in, he's undefeated. Alabama, him and LSU are undefeated. Nick Saban and Alabama are undefeated. They play each other. This is like a 1 versus 3. This is like 2 versus 4. This is like, if you look at different polls, this is like a preview to like basically like the championship game. This could be a championship game. This is a championship level game right here, right? You got 2 top programs, 2 top teams, 2 head coaches that got to the top for the path to where these coaches had to travel to get to this particular moment last weekend where they played each other was very different, right? Nick Saban has been a perennial winner for a long time. He's a very good coach. He runs his program very well. There's a lot of success there. He has national championships. Then you have Ed Orgeron, who had to bounce around. And there was this, the reason why he's notable for me is because, living in Southern California, I'm a big, huge USC fan. He was a defensive line coach at USC, and there were some issues in the coaching ranks over there in 2013, and he ended up filling in as an interim coach, right? And he was much loved by the fans, a lot of players like playing for him. It was very compelling, and for some reason he didn't get the head coaching job. A lot of people didn't understand why. Well, why didn't they just give it to him? Why is it that they had to look elsewhere? It seemed like he was very capable, right? And it's like, because he wasn't used to the big time, or what was the deal here? Everything wasn't clear. So he took a year off. He went to LSU. He started over again with a major program. So he's still in a major program. So it's not like he is not an accomplished or not a recognized quality coach. What happened with him is now he has to go somewhere else, prove himself again, which he's been doing year after year and program after program. He had a chance at USC to be the head of a major program and put his stamp on NCAA football, right? He gets the head coach position at LSU. Reportedly, they haven't beat Alabama for 8 years before that, right? So it's like Alabama's like the big bad wolf, so to say, right? And so he comes in and they beat Alabama and eventually get the number 1 ranking in the nation, right? It's a tremendous story. This guy comes in with all the marbles on the line. The game is high scoring, very the scoring is going back and forth. They scored, I think, 87 points combined, right? It started slow, but then it ended where it was just a barn burner, dude. It was a great game. He won the game. It didn't cap off a season, but it was a good crescendo. This was a good build-up to what Ed Orgeron is he's a winner, right? You look at what he was able to do. He supplanted the giant. He beat a very capable Alabama, which was undefeated, gave them their first loss, and now they're ranked number 1 in the nation, right? Very tremendous story. The compelling aspect of this story as well is the fact that there wasn't a ton of media coverage, right? This is because of what I've been talking about for a long time now, is this fragmented relationship, loyalty type of situation with sports now, where if you don't have an agreement with this network, they're not going to broadcast your games, your scores, your highlights, your this and that. So instead of there just being compelling news, it comes with a caveat of, are you part of our network? We need to cover our people first, even though this is a universal, intriguing story, right? Whether it's on ESPN, Sports Illustrated, whoever puts this out, it's a very compelling story. It's a page turner. it's somebody that it's an article that people would like to watch or hear or hear about. It's an example of excellence and perseverance, and the fact that this guy did it and he didn't give up. Right? He's been at this for a long time, and this might have been his biggest accomplishment. Right? He doesn't make $15 million a year like Nick Saban at Alabama. Right? He's not at that level yet. He's an elite coach and part of an elite program, but he's not at the top level of it. He's getting there. These type of victories in these games are pivotal to somebody like this guy's career. Right? So I find it very interesting that this story just happened on the weekend and it got overshadowed by 100 other stories. And the fact is that maybe the NCAA is not doing a good enough job of aggregating and consolidating the compelling stories as a whole, so you can create an interesting narrative for regular or casual people to watch. It seems like sports in general is now focusing on trying to maximize their current viewers, their current fans, rather than to cultivate and to grow new and bring in new fans into the fold. It seems like they haven't given up, but the priority level is not on growing the sport, right? There's a lot of fragmentation. It's in baseball, basketball, football, college football, that whole deal, right? There's separate network deals for different regions of the United States, and I understand all that, right? I understand there's dollars at stake here. I'm not disagreeing with the methodology. I'm just saying that maybe sometimes if you need to see this universally compelling story and it came out of the NCAA in the football ranks, this should be highlighted, right? A great story is good for everybody. A winner is good for everybody, and I don't think this got enough media attention because of the fact that I don't think that NCAA football has an effective strategy on the way that their content is ingested by the younger kids now, right? Social media is a weird term that everybody refers to, and we all universally know what it is. But these platforms are starting to focus their relationships on certain things, right? You take Facebook is very boxing centric, right? You look at Twitter, sometimes they'll show a football game here and there, a basketball game. You look at all these, they have the money to broadcast these games, but because of the old school relationships they have with cable companies, it stymies them from being able to universally broadcast an accomplishment, right? Something that's newsworthy, something that's interesting, something that can go on the front page of a newspaper nowadays, right? All these behind closed doors deals has hindered highlighting good things about particular sports so you can grow the sport, so you can say, look, this is what we've been able to do, right? And so I think this is a good example, and this is a good story that everybody should hear about. That's the reason why I'm even talking about it, is because I think people should know about Ed Orgeron and how he basically got told by one of the biggest football programs on the West Coast is, you're not good enough. You don't got it. You're not it. You're not the man. You're not this. You're not that. So I don't like, there was no real reason why they thought that about him. They wanted to get somebody who was perceived as being more polished, and SC has not been the same, right? Now you have this guy, Ed Orgeron. He's #1 ranked team in the country. He beat Alabama, his arch nemesis. How much better can you get, right? In order for this story to have a cherry on top, is he's got to win a national championship. Maybe beat Alabama again in the national championship, because Alabama's still ranked high. He might see them again. Facts, right? So that being said, I thought this was a good story. You guys tell me what you guys think. Let me know. I want to hear it. Did you think it was a good story? No. Did you think, Ruben doesn't know what he's talking about? I want to hear it. Put it in the comments. Type it up in there. Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It's all good. If you're watching it, it's always appreciated. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye.